Are you struggling with feedback in your sound system? Have you EQ'd the room, ringed out your PA using white noise? Have you even tried every single tip on the internet? Well, this video is for you. The truth is, you might actually not be doing it wrong. You might just be doing it in the wrong order. So over the course of this video, I'll be showing you a step-by-step guide on how to set up your PA system for success. The first step is to ensure you gain stage all your inputs correctly. Now, one of the best examples I've heard of gain is that imagine if you are putting water through a water faucet, right? So gain staging, or the gain, is basically how much water flows through your pipe. And then imagine your volume as water pressure. Now you can imagine where the problem is, right? Imagine if you want a lot of water to flow through, so you're pushing the volume up, but then there isn't enough water in your pipe, right? It's not possible for you to get that much volume. And that could be a reason for feedback. So you have probably not gain stage your instrument or your mic properly, but yet you're pushing the volume so high. In order to ensure that you gain stage properly, the rule of thumb is to ensure that the signal is coming in at least negative 18 dB for all your sources, even though it's music, bass, whatever instrument you're playing, whatever mic. It has to be at least negative 18. Now, for drums, because there's a lot of transients, and especially gospel vocals that, there's a lot of soft tones, and sometimes they can sing a lot more harsh, you can go all the way to negative 12. But ensure you don't go past negative 12, because anything beyond that really is just going to clip. So you do that by selecting your signal source, right? And then gaining your signal up until it is at least negative 18 dB. But drums like snare, the tom, and the floor tom, you can go up all the way to negative 12 because of the transients they need to go through. So now we've dealt with the input, ensuring that your input signal is correct. Now we have to ensure that your output signal is correct. So when you go through this process, and I'm going to be very specific here, you're going to find out two things. Either your speaker volume is too loud, or you don't actually have enough speakers to achieve the volume that you need in your room, and you're pushing them too much and you're getting feedback in return. So how do you even find this out? So first step, for the purposes of this video, I'm going to be using a Behringer X32. Right? And in the Behringer X32, I have set up my system in such a way that my left-right fader is going into my matrix. So I have a left-right matrix and then also a matrix for sub. So essentially, as a rule of thumb, I like to set it at -5. You can set it at unity, but I like to set it at -5. Just give me a little bit of headroom, right? So when I select that, I turn my speakers all the way down. Now this is a caveat. Obviously, if you have speakers where you can actually access the volume, so let's say they're installed, you can obviously turn the volume all the way down. So the best step is actually just to start with it all the way at the bottom for speakers like that, right? But if you have access where you can actually turn up the volume, then you can start with it at -5. So for the purpose of this video, so that it's applicable to everybody, whether you have access to it or not, you can start with your faders all the way down. Now, what you want to do after this is head over to the oscillator so that you can play some pink noise, right? So the purpose of this is so that you can play the pink noise at least negative 18 dB. Yes, you guessed right, because all of your sources now should now be coming in at negative 18 dB. So now you can actually set the volume of your speaker according to what all the sources will be coming in at. Now, apart from using pink noise for this scenario, you can also use music, which I actually highly recommend. But for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to be using negative 18 dB. So you play it at negative 18 dB, right? Your speaker volume is already set, and then you turn up your fader until it is loud enough in the room. So we can see how using music will be a lot better for this example, right? Because using white noise, it's kind of hard to gauge, is it really loud enough? Is it not? But essentially, you raise the fader up until it is loud enough. Now, when you get to where it is loud enough, this is how loud your speakers should be. Anything past this point really is problematic. It's either going to feedback, or it's either going to distort, right? All your input signals are coming in at negative 18 dB. This is how loud it should be. It shouldn't go past this. Now, if you're already at unity and you're saying, hey, wait a minute, it's actually not loud enough. Well, this might be you don't have enough speakers in the room and you're actually pushing your speakers past the breaking point, and that's what's causing your feedback. Either you need more floor monitors for the stage or you need more speakers for the front of house, right? Because this is what your speaker should be, given that everything is at negative 18 dB. This is the max input signal that's going to come in, and this is the max the volume should be. If it's still not loud enough, even past unity, then you need more speakers. So you've ensured that your input signal is coming in at negative 18 dB. You've also ensured that you have the right amount of speakers and that your speaker volume is where it's supposed to be. Now for the last step. This is where you can now EQ your room. Imagine EQing your room, you haven't even set your volume, you haven't even gain stage it properly, you're going to run into a mess. And usually when this happens is that you look at the frequency spectrum on the EQ and the left and right fader, and literally every frequency is turned off. And now it's your music is just distorted and it's not clear enough because you didn't actually go through the right process and set up your mix for success. So now your input signal is correct, your output signal is correct. Now is the time you can actually EQ your room. And just like the most popular videos out there, again, you're going to use white noise again to EQ your room. So you set up a mic, preferably a condenser mic in the middle of your room, right? You set that up and then you connect it to your mixer, a channel. You play white noise and you turn it up until your mic can actually get the signal. Remember to gain stage your mic properly. The signal has to be coming in at negative 18 dB for this to work. So you set the signal and you basically look on the mixer and see where the harsh frequencies are. So what I personally recommend to actually EQ your room is don't actually use the EQ band. You can actually go over to the effects tab, right? Press effects. And I usually use the last one, so effects 8, and I use an RTA, and I basically that way it's a lot narrow of a cut, right? So I'm not like cutting too much. So I cut and I look which frequency is actually harsh, flip over to the channel, look at the EQ spectrum, see which frequencies are harsh, flip over to effects and cut that out a little bit. Now, what you notice is that if you've actually properly gain staged, properly set your speaker volume, you actually realize that, hey, wait a minute, there's actually not a lot of harsh frequencies. Yeah, because you've actually gone through these steps correctly. So there it is. I hope this really helps you. It's important to follow these steps step by step. In my task of trying to combat feedback, I did a lot of research. And a lot of videos talked about these steps separately, and no one really combined it, right? So hopefully this helps. If this video helped you a lot and you want to see more content, make sure to like and subscribe, and also share with any other friend you know that is struggling with feedback. Until next time, thank you so much for watching.